What is up, peeps? I know some of you guys are shocked that Jay's not the one here, but can you guys hear me? Let me do a sound check really quick. You guys can hear me, right? You deserve the best. At Harbor Freight, you can afford it. Okay, you guys can't hear me. Okay. What is up, everybody? It's been a long time since I've done one of these, so you're gonna have to forgive me if it takes me a minute to get the chat sorted out and everything. But yeah, David, Shamori, Linda, Michelle, John, Stella, everybody. How we doing tonight? Yeah, first and foremost, obviously the reason I'm here. Two big things I want to thank you guys for. Obviously the countless and endless birthday wishes over the last, few days. My birthday was yesterday, but thank everybody for early, late, on time messages, whatever. You guys have no idea how much it means to see this much support for somebody you guys don't even see that often. And also, as Jay touched on, uh, in the last day or two, we cannot say thank you to you guys enough for 90,000 subscribers. I still remember March 2022 when I actually created the channel, and Jay and I were the first two people to subscribe to it. So I actually remember when that channel had 2 subscribers. To be this close to 100K is like, really, really, really surreal. But yeah, other than that, wanted to thank you guys for both those things. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit, answer some questions, whatever you guys kind of want to do, see where it goes. Jay talks about you so much, it's like you're here. I mean, I am here all the time in those chats, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's definitely weird and different to be on this side because, like I said, I think this is only the second time I've actually done a stream for this, which was like 40,000 subscribers ago. Happy birthday. Yeah, like I said, I won't be able to get to all of them individually, but I can't say thank you guys enough for all the birthday wishes. Up your sexual magnetism and get that extra 10K. Well, Michelle, that's why I'm here. No, I'm just kidding. But you all do good work. Should be way more subs than that. I would agree, but I mean, I'm obviously happy, what I'm saying, where we're at. For 2 country boys with, really no experience doing anything like this beforehand, I couldn't be more proud. I will say that I've seen some communities bigger than ours that have a lot of just not cool people in it. I'll take our 90K over some other like 200K communities any day of the week. We'll get there, but the quality of this family is just like off the charts. And we don't use that word lightly. Thank you for forcing Jay through Terrifier 2. Forcing Jay through Terrifier 1 was harder because some of you guys may know this not. We used to do a tier on Patreon where you could pay for a movie and he would put it would usually stay on Patreon. Some of them are over here. A few of them from Dust Till Dawn below. There's been a few we've done that started that way. But that was the only movie when we first did it that JL could not make it through. I think he made it like 15, 20 minutes into it and had to turn it off because he literally was about to throw up. And it took me like an hour to convince him, like, dude, we'll just give the guy a refund. Don't worry about it. And then we got to the Saw series. And I remember when we watched Saw X, everybody talking about how like Jay is a completely different person than when we started with the horror movies. And I kind of told him, like, I think he told you guys too, but I kind of told him, like, dude, this means you can do Terrifier now. And he just got really quiet because, like, if you can make it through all those Saw movies without wincing, because from the first Saw movie, he cussed me out during the reaction. The last one, I don't think he flinched one time, which amazed even me. But he still's not cool with Terrifier, but that, Saw was the reason I was able to talk him into it. How did you get Jay to watch Hereditary? That first Jay Halloween, I pretty much told him you're gonna have to do some heavyweight movies. He didn't really he pushed back a little bit on The Exorcist, but that and The Thing and It and Hereditary were like the 4 big ones, and he really I don't think he knew enough about it to push back on it, but that was honestly one where I was like, "Here, you're gonna watch this," and that's most of the movies we do is me sending him a bunch of movies and saying, "Here's what you're watching this week." Jay definitely has input, but he leaves the schedule a lot up to me. Can't wait for Terrifier 3, Christmas. We're gonna do that. I did promise it works out that it's a Christmas theme, but I did told him when we did the first one, he would have 6 or 7 months in between because doing those, like, close together, there's just no way. Love the Jurassic Park shirt. Thank you. I wanna say I bought this when I first moved to Los Angeles. I think I went to the Universal lot and actually bought this, like, when I first got to film school, I think. So, yeah, this shirt's definitely important to me for a few reasons. Been watching y'all since October 2022. That's the first Jay Halloween when Jay got his beard, the gray beard. My favorite channel by far. Y'all have gotten me through some really tough times. There aren't enough words to describe how thankful I am. Stuff like that means a lot to hear from you guys because me and Jay, especially now, we've gotten a lot more used to it. But like to know that our nonsense, which is kind of just what it is, to know that our goofy nonsense actually helps so many people is a great feeling that I don't think we ever really expected or knew that we needed. But and I say this in the chats all the time. Just know you guys do the same for us. Like there's a lot of times when life definitely gets tough and this channel and these edits for me and and like just when we used to do the premieres, like just talking to you guys on it's on Patreon, Discord here, whatever. That gets me, I think in Jay as well, but that gets me through a lot of tough times. So trust me when I tell you, you guys are just as important to us as as we are to you. So um let's see. We corrupted Jay. We did corrupt Jay. Like I feel if you like even like re-editing that Jaws reaction, Jaws was I want to say July 2022. It was like maybe one of the first 20 or 25 movies we did. And we're up, almost to like 600 or at 600 now. And to see how squeamish he was even during that is just hilarious to look back on now. I love watching some of the old horror reactions just to see how far he's came from being squeamish. Um he needs to recover from the previous day. He definitely does. Um You've always wondered what blank looked like. This right here. I'm the resident white guy around here. The first time I did this, it was amazing how many people showed up in this chat and were honestly shocked that I was white. I think everybody for the longest. Yes, Raymond. Yes, that is your name. I will say it. Um, yeah, 0. The first one. That's the only other stream I did was at 50K. I think I did that one ad that was attached to a few videos, but that's it. You guys are going to see me more. Probably not as much on this channel. We get asked a lot for me to react with Jay, but me and him both kind of agree. Like, you guys don't want me to react. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like. I think some people expect 2 versions of Jay that's like that much comedic, whatever. Like, that's not. I will just sit there and kind of laugh at Jay. So it's probably better if I don't. But when we get the world channel going, I'm gonna start having a lot more opinion-based stuff where I'm gonna rank franchises, do top 10 lists. We're gonna do trailer reactions, Jay and I together. So you guys will be seeing a lot more of me once we get that up and running. We wanted to get the music channel kind of on its feet and going first. So that'll be I don't have a timetable, but I would say in the next few months we'll get started on that last channel that we want to do. Because we want to do a lot of stuff that we really don't have anywhere to post. And that's kind of what that channel is gonna be, is just all of the, nonsensical stuff that we want to do that's not reactions. That's where it'll go. Bad Moon 1996 Robinson, thank you so much. That's on the list. I remember I went through his list the other day. Like that's on the list right now. We'll definitely try to get to it soon. Yeah, Michelle, definitely agree. Prayers for the people in Texas. That's absolutely horrible. I couldn't imagine. Martial arts movies, are they on Patreon? I think I want to say Hero, the Jet Li movie, maybe 1 or 2 more, but most all of the martial arts stuff, we haven't done a lot, but most all of what we have done is on the channel. But there might be 1 or 2 on Patreon. There is like 160 or 170 exclusive movies on Patreon that I have trouble remembering sometimes, but there's a couple on there, I think. Resident White Guy is an awesome nickname. Pictured you with blonde hair. No, it's always been like this. When are you going to get him to watch Homeward Bound? I never. Like Jay, like I will persuade him to try to watch some stuff, but I know when when I should, like, I know how adamant he is about any of the what he's going to consider sad animal movies. I don't even try. Like, I'm lucky enough that he's done the horror movies I've wanted him to do, and he continues to do. So I'm not going to press my luck. But once he says he's not going to do it, it's not really, it's not really for me to do that. How was my birthday? Hope it was fun. My birthday was awesome. I actually stayed inside in the air conditioner and slept on the couch most of the day and watched Jaws, I think, twice. So could not have asked for it. I watched the reaction and watched the actual movie twice. So once you hit my age, it's about all I want to do is just stay home in the AC and sleep. I was more shocked your name was Blank. Blank it's a nickname I kind of proudly adopted that my dad had when he was in the military. It's the first part of my last name. But I've actually had that nickname for years. Like, I think my parents and maybe 3 people I went to high school with still call me by my first name. Everybody else just calls me Blank. That's kind of just what I've gotten used to. Reach 100K by October. I hope so. Like Jay said the other day, I think the pace we're on right now, it should be sometime early next year, but I would not be mad if we got a rush and hit it before then. Human Centipede, yeah, that I don't want to edit Human Centipede. I said the other day, if you guys can talk Jay into watching Human Centipede, fantastic. I'll put it on Patreon and it'll be over there because I am not staring at that movie for 6 hours to edit. I'm just not doing it. Still thought you thought Blank lived in LA. I moved. I'm right outside of Cincinnati now, but I've been here for about 6 months. I was in LA for 12 years, but I just moved here, be closer to my parents. Hopefully one day I'm going to be back out there because I would be lying if I said I didn't miss Southern California. It's taken me forever to get used to the weather here. The humidity, the cold, it's not for me. Don't ever change the intro music. Oh, we're not. We went out of our way to specifically. I kind of wish we had it on all the old ones, but I'm not mad at the old Unicron theme. But yeah, I think Jay and I are both happy. I think the intro on all of the channels we do, because it's the same on the music and gaming. It'll be the same. It'll just be color coded for whatever channel it is. But that intro with the M'Baku chant, I think it's perfect. I think it just we'll never change that. Thank you for all your hard work. Thank you guys for showing up. Like I said, we literally wouldn't be able to do this without you guys showing up. So, like I said, you guys are gonna have to bear with me on the chat a little bit. It does kind of go up fast. I'm not really sure how to slow this thing down a little bit, but when will you see the Matrix series? Jay has actually seen the first one, I know, so that's really the only reason we haven't done it. It'll be a rewatch at some point because he wants to do the rest of them. The Stranger Things watch along today. No, that's tomorrow. Those are on Sundays. So Jay will be watching 2, 3, 4. It's either episodes 7 and 8, I think, of season 2 tomorrow. I want to say. You want to see Bruce Leroy? That's another movie. Jay, if Jay hadn't seen it, we would have already done it. But there's a few movies that is seen we haven't done. Can we get Jay to watch some of the old school ninja movies with Shoko Suji? I wish we could. Revenge of the Ninja is one of my childhood favorite movies. I know it's god awful to watch now, but if people would show up for that in kaiju movies, I would do one a week. But kind of like the slasher movies, I don't know how many of those we can do because for now, we do need as many views as we can get. I'm hoping once we hit that 100K and threshold and, we start getting a little bigger, we can do more obscure stuff, but it'll probably be a minute. You'd love a reaction to Sling Blade. It's actually on the schedule. I want to say I actually scheduled it for sometime the next few months. I do his schedule 5 or 6 months out, so I'll have to check the paper, but I don't remember. A dog's purpose is out of the question. That's up to Jay, but probably. There's always fireworks for your birthday. There was so many yesterday, it literally looked like it was like fog outside. There was just smoke everywhere, which I'm all for fireworks, but it's a little much. Let's get Jay that YouTube plaque. I don't know how many people have heard him say this in a few older reactions, but I want that plaque not just so we can, have the accomplishment of doing it, which mostly Jay has more than earned. But if he's really going to dress it up in like children's clothing and act like it's a person or an entity next to him when he like that's the whole reason I want to do it. Channels meant a lot to me. Gets through tough days. Like I said a few minutes ago, you guys do the same for us. It means a lot to hear that, but you guys get us through a lot of times too. Oh yeah, now Gina, I'm sorry. I just noticed you were in there. It was my birthday yesterday, and I actually got this in the mail. I have to find somewhere to hang this up, but Gina got me this awesome. This will probably be like the fifth or sixth Godzilla decoration I have back here. I can never have too many, so I have to find somewhere. It's probably going to go right about there. Probably this is Uncle Al Swearingen from Deadwood. I know she'll want that there too, so I'll probably move that up and put it about right here. But I definitely have to get that in there. Let's see. I'm looking at a few. Road to Perdition and Payback. Both of those are on the list. I know for sure. Most any popular movie you guys haven't seen. I know in the next few months we're going to get to I think A Few Good Men, Catch Me If You Can, a few of the movies that people have been asking for. Greetings from Netherlands. Thank you, Raymond. Sorry, I was accused you of being paid to react to sinners. I was drunk making accusations. No worries. Like I said, we thought it was funny too, but I told Jay, like, I wish those places would pay us, but half the time they're trying to copyright claim videos we did 5 months ago, or 2 or 3 years ago, or months ago, and they try to take our money as more than anything else. Has Jay seen The Jerk? Not yet, but it is definitely on the list. Let's see. Like I said, this chat goes a little fast. I have to keep scrolling back up. So. Again, thank you for all the happy birthday stuff. Has Jay seen Pet Cemetery? Yeah, that was actually, I want to say, the second or third movie we did of Jay Halloween. I remember when we were talking about Jay Halloween a minute ago in that year, because he had Hereditary, The Exorcist, The Thing, like all these heavyweight movies. I remember he was like traumatized by Pet Cemetery, and in my head, I already knew like this is going to be a long month because Pet Cemetery is scary. It is not those other four, and I knew that and as he says, that's why the white beard is here. Tears of the Sun, that is definitely on the list. That's a movie me and one of my buddies used to watch religiously in high school. So that's just one of those guilty pleasure movies, which I give him every now and then, and I don't care how they do. All my birthday picks, Rain of Fire. I knew that Transformers 1 and the Jackal probably wouldn't do the best in the world. Didn't care. Just wanted him to watch it. Sling Blade. We haven't done it yet. It's one of those ones that's requested enough. It's definitely going to be sooner rather than later. You resemble a young Brendan Fraser. When I was in Los Angeles, I got that and James McAvoy a lot. I can still get James McAvoy a lot now. I don't necessarily personally see it, but I mean, I guess there are worse people to say that I look like, but like I said, I appreciate that. Love the reactions to How to Train Your Dragon. Those are some of the reactions on the channel that there are certain reactions, and Jay and I had a conversation about this yesterday. There are certain reactions that just bothers me that underperformed on our channel that I feel like most other channel, like Ready or Not is the one we always go to. Ready or Not has like 200,000 views on every reaction channel except ours, and it's still sitting at like 15,000 after like 2 years. Like, that's heartbreaking because that movie and that reaction it deserves so much better than that. You should come to Texas. I hear the film industry's popping out there. I don't know if I could move to Texas, but I do have a buddy, our buddy Peanut, that JL talks about. I may go visit him at one day. I think he lives right outside of Dallas, but may definitely try to do that one day. Devil and Drag Me to Hell. Those are both on the list. There's, like I said, I wish you guys could see the list I have. I probably got a list of 600 or 700 movies at least I constantly add to, and just about all this stuff is on there somewhere. If you put an Autobot Matrix in your chest, will you come blank Optimus Prime? I don't know, but this Matrix, we used to go out to bars and stuff when I was in college, and they had 80s night, and I would constantly wrap a chain around this and wear it like a necklace, like Galvatron did in the original movie. Thing's heavy, but it was worth it. I literally used to wear that as a necklace out all the time when I was in college. Sam Elliott voice. I think I appreciate that. How do you think Jay would do on the hot wing challenge? I don't. I know I would do terrible because hot food is cool. Hot food that hot is not cool. I don't think Jay's that into like spicy stuff too. I used to date a girl who used to love to go to the restaurants that had curry and whatnot, where you had to like sign the waivers. Just I don't understand it. More power to anybody who loves that much spice, but that's not for me. Jay's looking pale. Has anybody made that joke yet? No, but I was waiting on it. Yeah, I don't. Jake. Yeah, I don't think he would do that much spicy stuff. Thank you again, Robinson. Reminder: please do the Hobbit extended trilogy. Theatrical's tasteless compared to the extended. We definitely plan on doing that. I think we kind of had the same attitude with those as we did with Lord of the Rings. If you're gonna do it, go all out the first time, because we did the extended version to all three Lord of the Rings movies. So the Hobbit movies, we've been planning it for a while, but they are just, and you guys know this, especially the extended, they are so insanely long. I have to kind of plan around when we're going to do that and make sure I have time to do it, because those are 9-10 hour edits for each probably, and I'm usually used to like maybe half of that. So, but we're definitely gonna get them out at some point. Recommend Clueless. Clueless was actually, Jay's actually seen Clueless. That was, I mean, for a month he had that picked as the rewatch movie for last month, but he swapped it out for American Pie, like not necessarily last minute, but pretty late into. We were gonna do Clueless, and I know he still wants to do it, so Clueless will definitely be a rewatch at some point. Same, Michelle. I can't eat or do anything that I used to do when I was younger. I'm in my 40s now, and even yesterday or like this morning when I got up, it's, there's a certain age when if you sleep the wrong way or move getting out of bed, it ruins your weekend. My back has been shot this weekend because of that. 20 years ago, never would have even thought it was a possibility. Would you consider doing a reaction video of you reacting to Jay when you first see the video? Not really, because again, my reactions are not. There's a reason I don't react on the channel, besides the fact I've seen pretty much every movie we've done 50 times. I just like when I went to film school, like the way I look at movies now, like when Jay's jumping and grossed out by stuff in horror movies, all I can think in my head is how did they do that and what's going on, like just on the other side of the camera. It kind of ruined watching movies in a way because I overanalyze now. And trust me when I tell you, it's not that entertaining. Hello from Glasgow, Blank. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming in, Shug. You're probably analyzing constantly, especially with like practical effects in a horror movie. Because one of my buddies that when I was in Los Angeles was he did special effects and stuff, and like all I could think about is like how Terrifier was a good example. All I could think about was how they did it. Thinner's underrated. Don't think there's a reaction to it. Agree, it's underrated. There's a few movies we've done. We do a poll on Patreon every once in a while where it will literally be movies that need more reactions. And we'll go, me and Jay will try to go. I'll pick out a bunch of movies I think kind of would do good enough. And we kind of go through and see. I think the Jackal was one of those. We may have one of the only Jackal reactions on YouTube. There's a few movies we've done like that where I think we were the first ones to do the Ghost in the Darkness. I remember because I was proud of the fact when we did it, nobody else did it. A few months later, I think Asia and BJ, one of those channels did it, and we got like an insane spike on that video because I guess we were the only other recommended video. There are some reactors that overanalyze and it's ruining reactions for me. See, that's why you want Jay doing it and not me. Jay's not going to overanalyze. He's going to react like he's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we let him do the dirty work. I'll stick to the edits. Do I think Jay can handle Human Centipede? I think he could handle it, but I think he would just be. That's kind of those like, what's the point movies, I think, for Jay, which I'm kind of the same way. Like, I think he would handle it now to an extent. He would still have a tough time with some scenes if you've seen it, but I don't think the reaction would be as funny as you guys think. And like I said, I just don't want to edit it. That's a rough movie to stare at for 5 or 6 hours. Has Jay reacted to Big Fish? Not yet, but it's on the list. I know he wanted to do a few more Tim Burton movies. That's one of the ones he hasn't seen. You both add such great individual and irreplaceable energies to the videos, both your contributions. Thank you for the channel. Appreciate that. Doesn't matter. I've said a bunch of times, I honestly think like me and Jay are yin and yang for this because I think that his reactions and what I want to do with editing that he allows me to do with his reactions, I don't know if Jay had another editor or if I edited for another reactor. I don't think either of those would be anywhere close to as good as what we do. And I know Jay's my buddy. I say this all the time. I work with him, obviously. I think he's the best reactor on YouTube. I don't think there are funny people and there are emotional people. I don't think there's a single person that can really touch him in either side. And he's like, not like top 1% of both of those. Most people aren't that great at either that I watch. I still enjoy them and watch them. A lot of the ones are just kind of, but it's amazing to me that Jay doesn't have an even bigger following considering how emotionally open and honest he is and how just absolutely hilarious he can be. But I know that I'm probably the one that has, the most bias in saying that, but I really do think if you take any other reactor on YouTube and take a given movie and put it next to Jay's reaction, I think my edit for content of the movie and his reaction pretty much blows away anything you're going to put next to it. I don't remember very many reactions I've seen where I'm like, well, that one's better than ours. And I know, like I said, I know it's biased. That's fine. But like Jay deserves all the credit because as much as my editing is, I do what I do and include the movie because I know him also well. But without him, my edits don't matter. And it's just, sections of a movie. So I owe a lot. I feel like I owe a lot more to Jay than he owes to me, although he may not say that, which is fine. But I honestly think that I owe Jay everything that I'm able to do right now. The only channels that come close to Jay have 2 people to provide the. That's what I'm saying. Like most of the time, people need a back and forth. Jay doesn't do that. Jay can essentially have a conversation with himself that's as funny or funnier than any 2-person conversation that you're going to find. Currently rewatching Jay's Paranormal Activity. That was a fun one. I kind of wish we would have did that one earlier when he was a little more susceptible to being freaked out by horror movies, but it's fine. Have you all done? Did you ever see Freaked? I love Freaked. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. Definitely, that's the definition of a cult movie. That's one of those movies that I would love to do, but I feel like we need a lot more subscribers and audience and people showing up because I feel like if we did that now, out of 90,000 people, I feel like 85,000 would say, "What is this? I've never heard of it." And we need a little bit more people to do stuff like that. But trust me when I tell you, you guys will love the day when we get to the point where we can do more obscure stuff. I have a list and a half of movies like that are just all cult movies. That and the Bubba Hoteps and stuff like that. I want to do them, but like I said, I don't think it's smart to do them just yet. Glad Jay liked the Jackal. Sadly, it doesn't get much love. A lot of people, I'm not going to dispute the fact that the 73 Day of the Jackal is better. I don't care. Like The Jackal is just one of those movies I watched when I was a teenager that sure that, Day of the Jackal is better. I don't really want to watch personally an early 70s movie of a lot of people I don't really know when I can watch Bruce Willis, Richard Gere, Sidney Poitier, Jack Black. Like that's just what The Jackal is one of those movies that I know is not great, but I will watch it every single time I see it on. There's probably like 20 of those movies I have. Rain of Fire, some of the ones I've done on the channel that I've gotten Jay to do, they're like that. Do. Four Rooms is definitely on the list as well. Death Race is on there for sure. 310 to Yuma. I think Jay has seen that. He can chime in. I think he has. The Saint, we almost did The Saint when Val Kilmer passed away, but I didn't have time to edit it. Arlington Road, we've actually put that on a poll or two. That's another one of those movies I'll watch all the time, and I definitely want him to get to. Jay and Ashley Burton are my favorite reactors. I love their sense of humor and wish they'd collaborate. Well, you and me both. Jay knows I've been open to it and suggested it to her a few times, but I mean, at this point, the ball is kind of in Ashley and Jay's court because it's kind of up to both of them. I've told both of them I will edit and post for both channels if they want to do something together because I would love to see them together. I think they're a lot similar, especially being Southern, but that's completely up to them. Natural Born Killer too much with the edits. I don't think anything's too much with the edits, honestly. As far as, I mean, movies that have a lot of cuts like that are easier to get through just because I can find a lot of points. But even with like content and whatever, with the way that I edit, I'm one of the few editors that doesn't blur out like gore and horror movies. I don't know if it'll get us in trouble later on, but it hasn't so far. So I keep doing it. But I see a lot of channels that blur out like a gunshot or something. Like I didn't blur out anything in Terrifier 2. I cut out a lot of the stuff and make quick cuts away, but like you know what I mean? Like I leave it in there. I think the only thing that I've ever really blurred was that I can remember. Um Full Metal Jacket, the scene with Pyle in the bathroom, because I could not get it cleared. I think I put up like 8 or 9 different copies of that movie, and we could not get it cleared without limited ads. And I think that's one of the. I don't know if it was just the suicide thing or not. I don't know, but that one was hard to get through. How do you feel when he stops the movie and rants for 5 minutes? I love it. Sometimes I wish he would rant for 10 because I think they're all hilarious. I don't remember. There was one I think I forgot. It might have been Stir of Echoes or one of those I think I missed, but I look forward to his rants. I kind of wish he would have started doing it earlier because I think Kill Bill Volume 1 and Commando were the first two that I can remember he did it on where he actually stopped the movie to do that. But he even apologized to me with the first time he did it on Kill Bill. He's like, sorry, man. And I was like, no, dude, from now on, if you need to stop it and say something, get it off your chest and, say something funny, green light, go for it. We'll definitely try to get to Natural Born Killers, Tama, for sure. Jay's rants are gold. They totally are. I thought the rant from Danny Glover being on the toilet was in there. That's on me if I did, for sure. Ain't Shit List is awesome. He's going to do another one of those. I think he's been holding off to try to launch the World Channel, but I told him the other night if he wants to do one for, as like a send off for those type of videos for this channel, I'll edit it. It's fine. But yeah, when we get that World Channel up and going, all these like Ain't Shit Lists and most petty characters and just all of the funny things you all look like Jay, like you're going to get a lot of that from him because like I've told him before, if I start doing a series and I may start out and do like reviews for like Friday the 13th, review all the movies and then do ranking the movies, ranking the final girls, ranking the kills, ranking, just a bunch of content. Jay's kind of free reign to just, if he wants to do a ranking video of whatever, stuff like that, cool. So those will be dropping over there a lot. Any kind of funny list he comes up with, that'll be the home for all that stuff for sure. You said my name correctly. No one ever does. I had a buddy with that name in California. I was just hoping it was the same pronunciation. The time he called you in Terrifier 2, that's hilarious. I think that and Sinister are the 2 I can remember him calling me mid-movie. I laughed the day he called in Terrifier just because he told me it was 7 minutes in and he had to pause it twice. So this is the handsome blank. If you say so, I do appreciate that. Amityville Horror is also on the list. Jurassic Park, I'd expect nothing less. Yeah, that was purposeful. I knew it was my first dream with you guys. What other shirt am I gonna wear? Almost wore my EOM shirt, which I need to get a new one. I have like the old logo. We've had that store in those new shirts forever, and I still don't have like an actual like new EOM logo shirt. You made Jay be comfortable with scary movies. Comfortable is an understatement. Like I think Jay is. I think he would even say he's a fan now. Like there are times when I've had to tell him, bro, we can't do that many because he went from not wanting to do any of them to wanting to do all of them. I don't think there's any horror movies now that he even remotely rebuffs me on, other than Terrifier, because the gore factor, I get it. Anything else, I don't think he really cares. Pulp Fiction's the greatest movie to watch for reactions. I agree. Jay's was really good. I'm glad that one did good. That's one of those movies that I'm proud of the edit, but like Jaws, how I just redid it. I wish I could go back and re-edit some of those movies just simply because I know what I'm doing now. Because as good as some of those old ones are, I really didn't know what I was doing at the time. Glad we figured it out. But there's quite a few movies that were in the first year or so, first 6 months that I wish I could take another crack at. When will we watch your movie? Well, whenever I can do enough of this to actually get back and try to get something made. Does Jay plan on seeing the rest of the Dirty Harry movies? Yeah, at some point. I think Magnum Force is on. I've got a list of. I think the poll we may do on Patreon this week is like a continue a franchise poll that we do occasionally. I think that's on. I have a list of probably, I don't know, 90, 80, 90 movies of just sequels we haven't done yet. I don't know if it's my favorite franchise, Huey, but Jurassic Park is my favorite movie. If it wasn't for that movie, I don't know if I would have moved to California for 12 years and did movies, but that is the movie that and Close Encounters of the Third Kind were the 2 things I watched as a kid that made me want to get into it. Human Centipede reaction, no, we went over that. That's probably never going to happen. I don't think me or Jay, either one wants to do that. Thank you, B. Like I said it earlier, you guys have gotten me through just as many rough times as we've gotten you guys through. How did me and Jay meet, and when did the idea come up starting the reaction channel? I've known Jay since high school, although we weren't like close in high school. Once I got to college, we started getting on Xbox with a few mutual buddies, and we kind of hit it off. You know, there was probably 8 or 9 of us playing a football game at the time, and me and Jay just were alike and gravitated toward talking to each other all the time. So he's became like family to me before that. Honestly, I think it was right at the beginning of COVID because I worked in the film industry and I did Uber in Los Angeles, and both of those just kind of disappeared overnight. And we just got to talking about doing something, whether it was a podcast, a channel, whatever. Had a conversation with him and a couple of other buddies and realized that they hadn't seen really anything. And I already watched reaction channels anyway. I watched Natalie, Gold, Cassie, Cinebinge. I watched a few of these channels before we ever started. But we kicked the idea around. Jay put in the work and kind of practiced on commercials, music videos, whatever he could, and kind of got, a feel for what he was gonna, how he was gonna be. But originally there was 4 of us, me and 3 reactors. 2 of them flaked out within a month, and it's pretty much we started in March 22. It's pretty much been me and Jay alone since June of 22. So you guys might see Peanut back on here at some point, but that's honestly up to Peanut. Your editing is great. I appreciate that, Preston. Like I said, I do take pride in my edit. I always want people who haven't seen the movie to be able to watch my edit and not be lost in the plot. I know not a lot of people watch reactions to movies they haven't seen, but if you choose to do so, I don't want anybody to kind of be lost, and I'd make a point to try to get as much of it in there as I can. Especially when I see some channels do like 30-minute reactions that have 5 and 10 minute intros and outros. You're getting like a 15-minute reaction. Like that drives me insane. Like the first videos we did weren't that short. Um, Jay has a PO box listed. Do I have one? I do not have one listed right now where I just moved and whatnot. If anybody wanted to ever send me anything, just send it to Jay's thing. I'm like an hour from him. We can get it to me, so it's not a big deal. You just send anything you wanted to send to me. Just send it there. The Boy on Netflix would be a good reaction. I think that's on the list. I have to check. Some of the Netflix movies we didn't really go through as far as the exclusives, but we need to do that. Gotta get Jay to watch The Ringer. I've tried. He won't do it. I respect it. I told him it's not what he thinks, but I totally understand his reasoning. So that's another one. If you guys can talk him into it, I'll be happy to do it. The Halloween edit you did was solid. That and the Jurassic Park reaction edit are my favorite. But yeah, some people may not know. I took the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy, the last 3 movies, cut all 3 of those down to one movie that's like 2 hours and 20 minutes long. Personally, I would rather watch that than the trilogy any day of the week. But but I post it sometimes for free. Next time I get on here, I'll try to get a copy of it up. Anybody that wants it can just watch it. And adding an option where people could pay to request movie reactions. We actually used to have that, and we honestly right now just don't have the time because we just started the music channel. We're working on the world channel. Jay's doing the gaming stuff now. None of that stuff we were doing before. We just don't have the time at the moment to comfortably do a handful of extra movies. We'll get back to it eventually, but at the moment we just don't have the time for it. Did you see Evolution? Yeah, I did see Evolution. That's actually on the list as well. Has Jay done any Steven Seagal movies? I think the only one we've done is Under Siege. I think. I think that was his first one. Tell Jay The Ringer's a boxing movie. He knows better, but Jay and the Octacool Brothers would be an epic collaboration. That would definitely be fun. I know that we follow them on Twitch because I did for the longest. I don't think Jay or I neither one of us knew that they twitched. But yeah, I would love to hang out with those guys if nothing else and just game and hang out. Was there a reason Jay says the Detroit stuff? Yeah, you can go watch the first year one celebration video and he lays it all out. But essentially, he went to Detroit for something fun. He did not have fun because the people of Detroit were terrible to him and he went home. That's the very Cliff Notes version of it, but Jay can tell you more about it. But he had an experience in Detroit that was awful, and since then he's kind of held it against him, which can't really say I blame him. Young Frankenstein is definitely on the list. The main reason we haven't done that yet is I told Jay he needs to watch Frankenstein first, the 30s one, 31, whatever year it is, 33. I'll probably get him to do that one day because it's so short and just post it on Patreon. But I have never really felt comfortable giving him Young Frankenstein until he actually sees the one movie that it's like spoofing the whole time. Some of these other spoof movies where they spoof so much, some of the scary movies, didn't really care. But like I feel like he needs to see Frankenstein before he sees Young Frankenstein. It'll be a lot funnier. Who is your favorite actor? Godzilla is my favorite actor. Can play any role, hero, villain. Nobody does it better. Jay, yeah, Jay, you already knew it was going to be a bunch of us. Jay, seen this questions. It's fine. Warriors actually on the list. We actually had that on a sports poll not long ago, but it lost to I think the Bad News Bears, maybe. Yeah, Hard Target, Kickboxer. There's a few Van Damme movies we haven't gotten. Coming to America would be a rewatch. Same, Jay. I get it, but it is what it is. Jay has not watched Sling Blade. We will definitely get to it. Have we thought about doing a monthly drawing of movie suggestions? No, but if there's a way for me to get movie suggestions and it be organized and not a pain to actually do it simply, and you know what I mean, we might try to start doing some stuff like that on here. But I'll have to figure out how and when, because if not, I'm going to get so many things late and stuff, it won't, it won't. I don't know. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll definitely try to. Shay motivated me to overcome my fears and watch Nosferatu. It's a really good movie. I'm glad. I knew he would love that movie. Love for him to watch Legion. That's another one. That was almost on my birthday poll. It's another movie. Hunger Games is on the list. Blades of Glory is on the list. Yeah, Detroit. That's on you. Like I said, no peer pressure for me for him to watch that. How do we send him stuff? For me or Jay, the Jay's PO box address is on the bottom of every video we've done and on the page description. So if you look at the bottom of anything, it won't be on this like the live streams, but look on the bottom of any video we have. You can send stuff there. What is your favorite movie you've watched together with your mom? My mom's not really a movie person. It's funny because some of the movies we watch repeatedly at the house. My dad's not a big movie person, but he will watch The Big Lebowski, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and some of those movies. And she's watched them so many times with us that she hates them. But my mom is a big old school Western fan. Like she's not really going to watch as many movies, but if you go to our house right now, there's a good chance she's watching Gunsmoke because she's watched it for I don't know how long that show's been on, 50, 60 years. Like she still will watch every episode of it. Crazy. Some reactions get copyrighted for some, but not for others. I think sometimes the studios go because I've noticed that there's a few friends that we have that react that talk to. KL's one of them. Sometimes if one person, especially if it's Universal, if somebody has a movie hit, everybody will have that movie hit because when our reaction to The Thing got hit a couple of weeks ago, which I have to appeal, I think tomorrow, everybody got that movie hit. There was like, and Jaws was the same way. Gladiator was the same way. Like when it's almost like they go through and just tag all the ones that for that specific movie, but they do that so a lot. Favorite movie genre you love to edit for Jay? What cracks you up the most? I know people enjoy comedies. I don't. I mean, granted, Jay's laugh is definitely infectious. I don't have as much fun with those. I think any kind of horror or thriller movie where he's in it more and you get those like really visceral reactions to gore or jump scares or stuff. I always have a blast with that stuff. Um, that would probably anything that or like things with twists that he has to figure out, especially when he doesn't know there is one. But there's a lot of and yeah, don't suggest movies and say there's a twist. Please don't do that in the chat. That's a guaranteed way for us to not do that movie anytime soon. Because if Jay knows a twist is coming, he doesn't want to watch it. So if you ever suggest a movie with a twist, just suggest the movie. I know. I've seen them all. I know what's in it. Do not say it's got a great twist because you just backed that movie up probably 2 years. Seabiscuit, I think that's on the list. I have to check. I think it is. Who is my favorite horror character? We're talking slashers. I've always been a Jason fan. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times when I was a kid that I rented Friday the 13th, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Like really any of them. Like I watched a lot of them, but Jason was a mainstay at my house. Always freaked me out too because looking out my bedroom, you could see nothing but like trees and forest, and I could always just think, maybe he's right there. But that was one of my favorites. Have you seen Transformers War for Cybertron on Netflix? Yes, I love it. I've told Jay before Transformers 1 came out, it was one of my favorite representations of the franchise. I think that is G1 from the 80s made for people my age. They kind of just cleaned it up, made it a little, tied some things up. But like any Transformers fan, like you have to watch that series. It's absolutely unbelievable. Have I seen People Under the Stairs? Yeah, there's not very many movies you're going to ask me if I have seen that I can say no. Trust me. That's why I do the edits because, like I said, I most of the time when Jay does these reactions, I already know what parts you guys want to see. I already know whether he reacts to it or not. That's why certain lines make it, just because I already know. Um, Jay has not seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I was actually going to do it a few times, and I'm not going to lie. Butch and Sundance, and there was one other Western, even Unforgiven. Like the Westerns we have done for some reason, people just don't watch. And as much as I want to see Jay watch certain movies like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, if I think there is any reason or chance that it's going to underperform and literally cost us, livelihood, I have to push it. So animated movies and like recent movies from the last few years are kind of in the same boat. When people prove they will show up for that stuff, we will do more of them. But until then, that's why you guys get so many comedies, this, that, and the other, because at the moment we have to do what we think people are going to show up for. People Under the Stairs would be a great reaction. That's definitely on the list, as I said a minute ago. That's another one that I love. What is that thing in between the Ghost Trap and Indiana Jones? That's the Autobot Matrix from Transformers. That's probably the oldest prop of everything I have behind me. That's probably the only one that I've had for, God, 20 years, I think. That and that Jaws poster. One of my friends got that for me when I was in college. That's like a painting instead of a poster. But best cowboy movies, Young Guns. Young Guns 1 and 2 is actually on Patreon. I just haven't edited them yet. Captain Ron, one of our buddies, like has an insane love for that movie. I promised him we would do it sometime. I'd watch Jay walk through IKEA. I've told him before, when he goes out and does stuff, just film it. People will watch it. You'll do or say something funny. Not to post them all, but you know, House of a Thousand Corpses. Definitely, we're going to get to that because I want to do Devil's Rejects because that's another one that I love. Stay away from Shaq films. See, some movies like that I love. I would like for Jay to do just because Jay basically will riff bad movies. It pains me that some of those slashers like Jason Goes to Hell, Freddy's Dead, Halloween Resurrection, I know they're terrible movies, but they should have more views because Jay has made all of those movies infinitely better than they have and more entertaining than they have any business being. Do you have any favorite movies so bad it's good? The Time Machine, I actually have seen that. Any of the old Toho Godzilla movies from like the 60s and 70s, trust me, I know how bad they are. I can recite most of them because I'll never stop watching them. Porky's has a lot of keys to the plot moments. We're actually going to do Porky soon, and I think Porky's and Police Academy. I don't remember which. Those were the first two movies that I saw boobs in when I was a kid. So it always has a special place in my heart. How much do you and Jay make from YouTube? Honestly, I mean, we make enough to do this full time, which I think we're extremely lucky to do. It is not like that we are rich. Like, I do not get that impression at all. But we can't afford to do this full time, and that alone is a blessing. We're growing with these other channels. Hopefully we do a little better. But do I think we would get viewers for Midnight Run? I hope so. I plan on doing it at some point just because that's another one I think Jay would have a blast with. Loving the Buffy series. Same. I've been entertained with it as well. I think Jay's going to get back to it. I think he can correct this, but I think he's going to do the first season of Clone Wars, then maybe Dexter season 3, and then get back to Buffy. For the people that aren't on Patreon, Jay's been going through TV shows like crazy, and he's about to hit a big Star Wars boost here. It's part 7 walk off. That and the F this movie at the end of From Jason Goes to Hell is like my favorite things ever. I still think that's the funniest outro on the channel. Help me understand the hand mirror Jay uses. We get this question probably more than any other question. When Jay holds up the mirror, that is simply because when I edit, I have 2 files. I have a file of Jay sitting there, like you guys see when the movie's not there, and I have the movie file. Him holding up the mirror simply enables me to sync up the movie file in the reaction to the exact frame. That's literally the only reason we do it. We used to try to do it with him saying 1, 2, 3, go, and me like hearing it. But if I can't see it, sometimes it would be like a second off. So that's literally just, most of the time, I don't even want you guys to see it. But sometimes he'll say something hilarious when he's holding it up. So, but that's literally just to sync things. So I know that I'm on the exact right point that I need to be on. You guys deserve a whole lot more, hands down, by the best reaction channel online. It's not even close. Natural Born Killer is definitely on, as I said a minute ago, it's definitely on the list. But Like I said, I couldn't agree more. I think Jay, I don't even like saying me. Jay deserves more people. He deserves more people watching this stuff and whatever, because I see, and it's channels I love, channels I like, but I see multiple channels all the time with triple, quadruple our audience that they can't touch us. I told Jay before, I feel like we're the ECW for us, we're wrestling fans. We're like the mid 90s ECW. We might not have the exposure everybody else has, but we put out the best product. I will always vouch for that. I thought it was the show what he sees. And like I said, literally, it's just so I can sync up the reaction. So when he does that at the beginning of the movie, I know for the rest of the movie, the entire thing is synced up to the exact frame. So what he's seeing is what you're seeing at the exact same moment. Suggestions for the music channel. I think Jay said we've got a ton for the music channel, but that channel, we can't just edit stuff and put it up like we do here. So honestly, even if there's something that somebody requests and he does it, there's no guarantee that we can even get that up. Because some of these, I don't know how to deal with these record companies and whatnot yet, as far as like appeals and disputes with copyright stuff, because every video we put up gets flagged. Best case scenario, it gets cleared in 30 days because they don't see it. But we do take, like I said, we do take suggestions. Jay says it all the time. It's going to seem like he's not listening to suggestions that people throw out, but it takes so long to get those cleared, if they get cleared at all. I have a list of maybe 10 songs on this computer that they've been rejected like 5 times, and I just kind of gave up for a while, and I'll, try to get them up later. I was so disappointed with WrestleMania 41 that I don't care to watch anymore. Most of the WrestleManias the last few years have been disappointing. I don't ever think it's been the highlight of the show. The ending this year was pretty bad, but at this point, I don't think there's anything that can make me stop watching wrestling. Which I watch WWE, I watch AEW, I watch TNA, I watch New Japan, I watch PWG if I see, catch something on. Like, I just love wrestling in general. Channels help me so much. I have anxiety and depression and love Jay's laugh and his wonderful doggos. Again, you guys help us out as much as we help you out, but it's nice to know that what we do actually does some good, along with the goofiness. I'd like to see Jay react to Bloodhound Gang. I think that might be on the list. See, Gina's with me. There's nothing that's gonna. If we get to the point where we can start doing stuff on the World Channel with wrestling, you guys might actually see Gina on here. Because if there is a wrestling expert, I consider myself an expert as far as like a wrestling fan. Gina's got me smoked. Her and her brother would be like the best wrestling podcast show ever if we could get them to do it. Yeah, I've been a wrestling nerd. I watched wrestling when I was a kid during the 80s Hogan Macho Man days. I didn't really get hooked until WrestleMania 12. WrestleMania 12 was the first show I watched where I was like in it. And there was a couple of years, it was right after Austin and The Rock left. It might have been like WrestleMania's 19, 20, 21. I took a break for a while and wasn't really a fan, then got back into it. And I'm glad we got Jay into it, because Gina and me, like, we'll watch every pay-per-view together. We'll watch every weekly show. Like, we will consume as much wrestling as we can. It's never going to get old to me. And I don't have favorites anymore. I don't care who wins. I don't care who has titles. It's like movies. Just show me a good story with some good characters, and I'm cool. Oh. Anytime you feel stressed or anxious, stop what you're doing and take 10 deep, slow breaths. I actually do that. I had some therapy sessions when I was in college, and I've done it since then. I have my own woo-saw. Nah, Joe, you can never grow out of wrestling. Me and my dad still make jokes about my grandmother. She passed away years ago, but when she was alive, she was a huge fan back when it was Bobo Brazil and God, who else was it back then? I guess Buddy Rogers, like the 50s days. Like, she was a huge fan. My dad never really cared. I kind of got into it on my own, but like, it was funny that she was a big thing. Heels got me back into wrestling. Heels is me and Gina both are really mad. No spoilers because Jay hasn't watched it. Me and Gina really need season 3 of that show. And we have advocated for a while that I don't know what Netflix is doing, that you show Raw every week and you have a wrestling show and you don't even try to do anything with it. Like you have a built-in audience. Do something with it. Jason reacted to Tootsie. It's definitely on the list. Like I said, any famous movie you guys have is definitely probably on the list. I see more birthday wishes coming in. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to get to all of them individually, but thank you for that. Definitely had a good birthday. I found Jay relatable and funny. I've said before, and I know that I can speak on this. So can Gina, because like I've known Jay. The person that you guys see on these reactions and on these streams is the exact same person that we see when the camera's not off. Jay does not change. I'm not saying that some of these reactors act or put on a fake persona, but I definitely get the feeling that some of them do. I don't think some people would quite be as nice and jovial and the way they are if you were really around them. But I can vouch, like Jay he's actually nicer in, off camera than he is on. Like I think people can sense genuineness. Like I think if you're genuine, I think people can. I don't think you can fake that. I think some people try and maybe get away with it, but like Jay is the same person off camera as he is on. He's one of the best. Lex Luger tried to pick me up when I was 14. Yeah, that is gross. We were at a bar for a local show when I was in college, and Jake Roberts was there, and bless his heart, he was probably, I don't remember when, he was probably at least in his 60s then, and he was hitting on every 18, 19-year-old in there. It was like the grossest thing I've ever saw. Almost got into a fight with him that night because he had a terrible attitude. The honky tonk man was there, coolest guy I've ever met. We talked to him for an hour. He was awesome. Jake Roberts, I will always have a sour note with him for the rest of time. I'm glad he's doing better, but when he was cracked out, he was terrible to deal with. Cena or Cody? I think they're going to let Cena hold on to it for a while longer. I don't know. Maybe we get that heel turn from Cody and he takes it. I don't know, but I would be shocked if they take it off Cena 3 months before he's wrapping up. I don't think he loses it until he leaves, like the last night, but we'll see what happens. I heard Raven wasn't that great of a guy. I've heard that he's passionate, if that makes any sense, but I've never known it. He was one of my favorites when I was a kid. I think he's one of the best character workers I've ever seen. Have you heard of Jen Murray? She's pretty good. Yeah, I actually talked to Jen. She's in a group. There's a Discord group that we're in with a bunch of other reactors. I actually talked to Jen here and there about, opinions on. There's a few of us that talk on if something happens, we get in there and talk about copyright stuff, just different things that reactors have to deal with. But she's a sweetheart. I haven't talked to her in a while, but from what I have interacted with Jen, she's good people. She's a sweetheart. All right, Detroit, you be good, man. Appreciate all the love. Andre the Giant was awesome. Andre the Giant was awesome. If you've never seen the documentary on HBO that Bill Simmons did, amazing about Andre. Have you been to a pay-per-view live? I actually have. I've been to a few actually. There was a few WCW pay-per-views that were in West Virginia when I was sold out, like 90. Gina can help me out here. 7, maybe was in Charleston I went to. I have been to a Royal Rumble in 2022. I've been to a SummerSlam 2007. It was in Indianapolis. I want to go to a Mania. Me and my roommate were going to go this past year, and the last time it was in LA, WrestleMania, but we both had work and the traffic was just ungodly. I don't regret not going, but I do regret kind of not going. So really the only thing on my bucket list wrestling wise is I've got to hit a Mania at some point. Later, Howard. Thanks for stopping by. Fish heads. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you being here. It does not seem like we've been in here for an hour already. Yeah. We'll spend 10 or 15 more on here if you guys got some questions and whatever, but I have not ate dinner yet and I am starving and I need to go cook. So we'll wrap this up here in a little bit. But if you guys have anything else, if you have anything else has Jay seen this related, I'll try to get to it. I think we've done enough of those for now. Loved Andre and the Princess Bride. Definitely an all-timer. That's another video I wish had more views from us, but I wish I could recut. Like that, I think that might have been like the 4th or 5th video we ever did on the channel. Are you an MST3K fan? Die hard, Flossie. I have a hard drive downstairs that has almost every Riff Tracks like movie and commentary combined, so I can watch. I actually watched the Jaws one the other night, but I have been an MST3K fan since since Joel was on the show, like way before Mike ever got there. Like I've used to come on Sci-Fi and Comedy Central. I have been addicted to that show since I was a kid. Absolutely love it. Thanks so much, Burbs. Appreciate that. Do I have children? Am I married? No and no. I'm pretty much a lifelong bachelor at this point. Never been married, never been engaged. Had some relationships here and there, but nothing obviously that lasted. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? I have, jobless, every week. My top 5 favorite movies. We've talked about this before. I have 4 from my childhood that are pretty much irreplaceable. That 5th one is kind of Jaws may have the lead on that spot, but Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters, Transformers the movie, the 1986 animated one, and Top Gun. Those 4 movies were watched in my childhood so much I can recite them with my eyes closed. That 5th spot, like I said, it constantly kind of rotates, but Jaws has probably one of the biggest claims to that spot, if I was being honest. If I put Jaws as my 5th favorite movie with those 4, I wouldn't regret it, I don't think. But there's a few movies that can slide in there. But those Transformers, Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters, and Top Gun, I don't think they can ever be moved out just because of how many times I saw them when I was a kid. When are we going to see the unveiling of the EOM championship? That might be a 100,000 thing when we actually win. You guys live in the same state? We do now. I'm in northern Kentucky. Cincinnati's right there across the river, but I'm probably hour and 20 minutes from Jay right now from a drive on the interstate. Yeah, we all do live in Kentucky again. Gina's in our hometown part of Kentucky. Top 5 horror films. The Thing is my favorite horror movie for sure. I mean, honestly, past that, I'm such a fan of the horror genre. It's really hard for me to pick, honestly. Like, pick any slasher movie. Like, Scream would probably be up there just because of how many times I watched it. But like, it's really The Thing and like everything else. Not in the sense that everything else isn't as good, but just horror. It's really hard for me to pick consistently because whatever I may be in the mood for Supernatural one day, be in the mood for slasher the next, but I constantly watch horror movies. I bet I've watched the Hellraiser remake when I edit like 20 times in the last month or so, which I'm a big fan of that one. Can you imagine Jay watching a Clockwork Orange? I can. That's actually going to happen pretty soon. There's a few Kubrick movies he hasn't done that we need to get to. How far are you from Fort Knox? Honestly, I don't know, but that's what, middle of the state maybe. It's at least hours. I honestly don't know how far we are from Fort Knox. Will we ever get Jay to watch Wolf Creek? Probably. Yeah, Hyper, I agree. Like Top Gun, I think Maverick may be a better movie than Top Gun. But just like I said with the animated Transformers movie, I can recite that whole movie. I still think Transformers 1 is a better movie. It'll never mean as much to me, but I think it's better. Maverick's probably a better movie than Top Gun, but Top Gun's always going to have like the most special place in my heart. Has Jay seen Tremors? He has. The first one is actually on the channel already. That's the only one he's seen. Yeah, if nobody has anything else, I'll start wrapping it up here a little bit and try. Jay, you can help me if I've got some of these. I think for the reaction channel this week, we have Sin City, The Nice Guys, and The Bone Collector. If I can get all that done soon enough, I'm going to try to throw his reaction to The Last Jedi together and get it up on Saturday. So you may get 4 this week. You're definitely getting those first 3. planning, hopefully you get the last, because I need to get these last 2 Star Wars movies finished. I've been It's my fault they're this late, but I need to get those done. So hopefully you guys have 4. Um, the music reaction channel this week, I want to say is, I don't know the order yet. We haven't figured it out, but I want to say, Jay, help me with this. I think it's Come As You Are by Nirvana, 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins, and Midnight Rider by the Allman Brothers. I think those are the 3 for this week. So should have 6 good uploads this week, if we're being honest. Yeah, see, Preston, I agree. Like, can't touch 86 in so many ways. But if you're just going on what's a better movie, I think a lot of people are lying to themselves if they say it's better than Transformers 1, because it's not. And like I said, that may be my favorite movie besides Jurassic Park of all time. It's the one I've seen the most in my life. When they came out with like the 25th anniversary of the animated movie, I went and bought the DVD. Hadn't seen it in years when I was in college. Put it in and still remembered every word. And I was like, yeah, this is permanently embedded in my head. The Blob definitely on there. Is The Bone Collector the first film with Angelina Jolie Jay's reacting to? Maybe. I don't know if we've done anything else with her so far. I don't think. What's for dinner? Have some burgers I didn't finish and make yesterday. I want to say it's ground chuck and brisket burgers, I think. But I'm probably just gonna make some burgers, whip up some sauce, and just have basically some smash burgers. Just something simple. Jay's reaction to the Jaws part, Ryan, was funny, but the amount of people in the comments that tried to convince me that the dog, nothing happened to it because it was seen later in the movie, as if there could not be another Labrador on Amity, is hilarious. I'm all for cognitive dissonance and just putting things away and whatever, but it's pretty clear what happened in that scene. But people were like adamant that that dog survived, which it did. But I think you made it a new mic. Well, this is a brand new mic, so I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, have to see if there's a problem with this one, but it shouldn't be because this is a brand new mic. Hopefully, this air is not doing anything to throw it off, because I had to get a fan for in here because it is really hot in here. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure the mic thing out. CJ, you could have told me that a while back. I'm getting ready to get off here anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But I'll mess with it and be better next time. So I feel like Jay when I keep missing the camera when he got his new room. Has Jay seen Space Cowboys? Not yet. It just lost the poll that the Jackal won, so it was almost here this last Wednesday. Does Jay smoke? No, Jay does not smoke. But yeah, I guess if this mic's giving a little bit of a problem and it's this late anyway and whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Thanks so much for everybody for hanging out. Like I said, you'll see me more here on this channel occasionally. Definitely more on the World channel. One of these days, I think I'm gonna go down and do something with Jay at his apartment. You'll see us both there. We hang out with the dogs or whatever. But have I ever considered sitting in with Jay on a reaction? We've talked about it, but like I said, it's not. You guys don't want me to react. It's just, it's going to be better if he does it by himself, and that's what we want. So, yeah, I'm gonna get. I have a Twitch account too. I'm gonna get going at some point and kind of do what Jay does, go over there and chat, start some gaming and stuff. But I still have to get either a monitor or a TV for this room to be able to do some of that stuff, to be able to actually game. So, when I get that going, I'll pop on one of these and let you guys know, where to sign up and all that stuff. But for now, yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Jay's Stranger Things watch along is still on for tomorrow evening. So I think it's episode 7 and 8, I think. But yeah, that will be tomorrow. And as I said, Sin City, Nice Guys, Bone Collector on the Reaction channel, Smashing Pumpkins, Nirvana, and Allman Brothers on the Music channel this week. So you guys should have a good upload every day this week. Yeah, but you guys, I don't have a nice little, cool saying to sign off with like Jay does. So you guys have a good one. Have a good rest of your weekend. Stay safe, and we will see you on the next one.